Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Frankenstein, and this movie is directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it just came out on Netflix as of me recording this. And it stars Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz is in it too, and I thought this movie was pretty good. I was excited to see it because it was Guillermo del Toro. He was the main attraction for me watching this movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed this one. And I will say, going into it, my biggest fear was the runtime, 2.5 hours. And while I wasn't personally bored at any particular moment in this movie, I do feel as though the movie was a bit too long. I'll start off by saying that, and there were parts of this movie that felt like, okay, this either could be longer and developed a bit more, or just be cut out entirely and just not impact the movie all that much. And it never quite balanced out for me. And that's kind of how I feel about the runtime. I'm a little torn on it. But on to my positives. I know I kind of start off on saying, like, that's one thing that didn't work about this movie for me. But I did enjoy the movie overall. And what I loved is just the way the movie looked. First off, like, so many great shots in this movie. And you can see intent behind it, and stuff that looks very nice. It's very well framed throughout, and it's very memorable visually, I feel. And obviously, with Guillermo del Toro attached, you might be expecting really great creature designs that really stand out, and this movie is no exception. The designs are really fantastic, and not just for the creature, like the Frankenstein's monster, but also the sets, costumes, like everything looks fantastic, I feel. There were also some really great sound design choices that I noticed when the movie opened, and you can hear a character open up their watch, and they're over to the side of the frame, and you can hear it from the left channel, from like if you're watching with headphones, and that's something that I mentioned with David Fincher's The Killer, like specific sound design choices where you only hear sound in one channel because that's how the character is listening to it. And while nothing like that is done that in that specific way, I do feel as though there was a nice intent behind these choices. I liked the creature in this movie. I thought he had a really great design, and I saw an interview with Guillermo del Toro saying that, like, we changed it to be something a bit different, kind of separating from that 30s one with like the bolts in the neck and flat head, just doing their own thing entirely. And I like that about it, and it never once looked goofy to me, and I always bought it as like a creature. Like, they really do sell that it's a living, breathing part of this universe. And the cast was pretty great, and I thought that everyone brought a lot to it, and the characters were also very memorable, and I really enjoyed how this movie was structured. That's something that caught me off guard. And you might be thinking, with how the movie kind of opens, like 10 minutes in, it starts being told in a, like, oh, a character is just explaining everything that has happened. They do put somewhat of a different spin on it, at the very least, or at least something that I don't see often. Like, something that I can't remember the last time this has been done, or this is my first experience with it being done. There was one thing that this movie did to change that a little bit, and I liked it. And the music in this movie was good. I thought it complemented the movie pretty well, and didn't feel as though it was dragging it down or felt out of place given where this movie is taking place. It felt natural for me. And I loved the scenes of making Frankenstein's monster, and when we actually see him on screen, looks pretty great. And he was actually in the movie a lot more than I thought he would. I was surprised about that. And I love the scenes with the creature, and I like how little dialogue he has for a good chunk of the movie. And you might be thinking, oh, does he actually talk? And he does talk in the movie. And when he does talk, it never once felt goofy to me. That's one positive that I can say about it. And One thing that I'll say about this movie that it didn't quite work for me was the scenes with Elizabeth and the creature. And sure, there's only a few scenes with that, but it kind of reminded me of The Shape of Water. And the reason I bring that up is because I feel as though the relationship between the main character and the creature in that film was much better developed than this movie did it, which is a little sad, but still, not to say that it was done poorly with what we had, but I would have preferred more of that. I was just left a bit starved. And it did kind of feel like we were treading on familiar territory whenever we got scenes like that. There was one moment in this movie that was a little comical to me, like unintentionally. I can't say what it is because I don't want to spoil anything. And the CG animals didn't exactly look great, in my opinion. And also, whenever we saw fire, there was like a lack of smoke for some reason. Why is that a thing in movies? I have no idea. And that's about all I have to say about Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro one. Thought it was really good, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see it again. So definitely check this movie out whenever you get the chance. It's currently on Netflix, and I believe that's the only way you can watch it on a streaming platform as of right now. Check it out. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Frankenstein a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Frankenstein, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.